Super Rugby Pacific's red card replacement law passed. For its maiden season, Super Rugby Pacific will follow World Rugby's rules, although officials have been granted permission to apply the divisive 20-minute red card substitution legislation, which has been used in Southern Hemisphere games for the previous 2 years. Super Rugby Pacific, the 50-20 seconds kick rule and goal line dropouts, which have been tested throughout the world since August of last year, were ratified by New Zealand Rugby, NZR, and Rugby Australia, RA, on Wednesday. Matches that are tied at the end of normal time will also be eligible for a golden point extra time period. The usage of the 20-minute replacement regulation for a red card will continue to split fans all around the world. Last year's Rugby Championship did not accept the regulation as a worldwide trial, despite the fact that it was used in several Super Rugby tournaments throughout the epidemic. Officials in the Southern Hemisphere, like as those in Australia and New Zealand, tend to be divided on the legislation, claiming that games should not be spoilt by red cards, despite the fact that interpretations of the rule continue to be varied throughout the globe. As Super Rugby Pacific partners, NZR and RA have advocated for the red card substitution to be included in the competition, and World Rugby has complied. According to ESPN's findings last year, the red card substitution regulation in Super Rugby had a significant influence on match outcomes, with the impacted games not becoming one-sided affairs, which often deter viewers. Trial and no trial were contrasted in the Wallabies matches against France and New Zealand this year in Test Rugby. The red card replacement trial permits authorities to still give down a hefty sentence, but then deal with the issue in more detail via the justice procedure. Ex-French player Marika Korobiti was suspended for a high tackle against the Wallabies in Brisbane before being exonerated. At Suncorp Stadium, Australia won the third test despite being down a player for 75 minutes.